Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Velas. It's Lawrence Okoli Fight Week and he faces Mikhail Sislak for the WBO World Cruiserweight title. And of course on the undercard, not Dave Coldwell, Jordan Gill. How are we, Dave?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Good. Just looking forward to Sunday now. Just wanna. Seems to have been. We've only been here a couple of days, but it seems to be going quite slow.
Does it always? Is it not normally feel like that then? I mean, this is only the second day, and I know what you mean. I feel like this has been a long fight week already.
I think what it is because we, with the workout, there's been a lot of travelling back and forth from the hotel, so I think that's why it just seems like longer days. I don't know, but yeah, just everything's on course. Jordan's feeling good. It's just killing time now to the fight.
I said to him yesterday, just watch your step, wrap yourself in bubble wrap. Only a few days. I didn't want to jinx it, but I do want to take it quickly back to Liverpool because obviously after we spoke, and I know at the time everything, you're more emotional, and you kind of did say, look, it's not the worst cut in the world, but when you're emotional at that time, it kind of feels like everything just comes crashing down. So from then to now, what was the period like a couple of weeks after Liverpool, should I say?
Fine, straight. Listen, just had a few days off as normal, and then he was straight back in the gym. Could do everything apart from obviously sparring for a while, but it was on the top of the head. So he was really lucky, and which is why he's able to fight on this date here. So it could have been a lot worse. At the time, it feels like another kick in the teeth for him. But he's got his opportunity now. It was always a case of just got to be patient, and you're going to get your opportunity. And here we are.
Is it all about that sort of, I know it's a bit of a cliche phrase, but closing the chapter? I feel like Jordan Gill, European champion, would be a chapter closed, in a way.
Yeah, listen, it's like when Bellew won the European title against Masternak. It was a massive fight, and it was a fight where, before then, Eddie weren't really, he weren't really a big believer in Bellew, and Matchroom weren't as such. Obviously, they know he's a good fighter, but did they think he could go to that world level? No. And then, he wins the European title in a good performance, and I remember him saying, fucking hell, he can fight. And everything moved on from there. I think Jordan's similar. Jordan's had some good wins on his record. Anything that's been asked of him, obviously since his defeat, he's come back really, really well. The Bellotti fight was a fight where Eddie went, Bellotti could beat him here. He won. Juarez fight was one where he was like, Jordan could lose here, and Jordan put on a great performance in both fights. He's not somebody that I don't think he gets much credit for what he does. But this is a fight now. It's a European title. It's a major title. It's a prestigious title, and it's one that Jordan's been after, and that's the route that he wanted. That's the one that he wanted, like going back 2 years, more. So it has been a long process to get here, but we're here now, and he's got to go out there and take his opportunity, and then that's where at 27 years old, that's a great position to be in. Being European champion at 27 and moving onto a world stage.
I find it mad when you said, because I guessed he was late 20s or whatever, but when you say he's 27 years old, I feel like Jordan's been about for ages.
But he has. That's it. I mean, his career initially was quite a slow burner, and then obviously things started kicking on, and like Eddie mentioned up there, Peterborough, fantastic, and then he got beat, and then things have just been, pandemics don't help, same as every fighter, pandemic didn't help, injuries, illnesses, it's just been a rough couple of years, but he's 27 years old, so when Eddie's saying, it's a must win, or you're finished, is it fuck? You've got fighters on there on that table that have had losses before and come back. It depends what your mentality is. But at 27 years old, it's not a must win. It's a want to win. We want to win. He's here to win. He believes he's going to win, and he's good enough to win. But I think promoters and people like to make it a little bit more pressure for fighters and make
a build up and hype thing. Can you get carried away and this is a must win? Yeah, because every must win is such a kind of an overused phrase, isn't it?
If you had an 8-rounder and you get beat on an 8-rounder, you're not going to fight for a title in the next fight. It's a must win. Do you know what I mean? So every fight's a must win. That's what we always say. Every fight's a must win, but it's the promoter's job to make it more tension, make more more hype, more whatever. I think more so because when it's between a fighter, the promoter's fighter, and an international opponent who perhaps doesn't speak much English. So there's no. I mean, although Guerfi speaks well, although there's no bite, no animosity. So you've got to create a little bit of drama, and the drama is must win fight. But at 27 years old, I think that must win's a little bit. Might be must win as in if he gets beat, then he's not bothered about doing anything with him again. And that's fair enough. That's down to him. But it's definitely not in terms of fighters. I mean, you look at a lot of fighters and how they progress in their career. A lot of fighters I've dealt with have had the peaks in the 30s. So we got plenty of time.
And obviously, like you said, there's not much bite between the two. Obviously, there is a bit of a language barrier. But if you actually, he does seem a nice guy. And if you actually take what's going to happen in the ring and what we know about Guerfi from the Lee McGregor fight, okay, he got beat, but he had the power to drop in more comfortable weight.
That's a one-off. That's you got to look at it and say what we knew going into that, he was dead at that weight. Everybody knew that. But McGregor and what he did was fantastic. So you can't take anything away from McGregor. But at the same point is we're not looking at that fight and saying that's Guerfi. Because
he's comfortable now, isn't he? At the weight he's comfortable in.
He's not jumped up one division. He's jumped up two divisions, and he went in and beat an established champion in Gargo. And he beat him well. And so you're looking at Guerfi. He is a dangerous fighter. He's a very, very good fighter, and he's very, very experienced. So it's a good fight for him. And again, at this stage of his career, it's a very good fight for him. But as far as Jordan's concerned, it's more about what Jordan does than Guerfi for me, because Jordan's got all the talent in the world and he's consistently showing it in the gym. And if you look at his fights, apart from the blemish, consistently shows it in his fights. He's very, very fluid. He's got the skills, the moves. Punches a little bit harder than what you think. And so if he goes out there and boxes how he boxes, then he wins this fight, and he looks good doing it.
Can't wait for him to finally step in the ring and fight for the prestigious belt. Dave, I've got to ask you about Khan-Brook. We finally got it. And it was good. Obviously, I wasn't there in person, but just watching it through the TV, when you can sort of feel an occasion. Okay, we've heard that it's not the fight that it would have been 8 years ago, but I felt the occasion through the TV. Like, you could feel that big fight, couldn't you?
I think, listen, we all want these fights to happen when the fighter's at the peak and when we want them to happen. But if it goes on, when it finally happens, people still want to see who wins. And whatever's left of the two fighters that go up against each other, if it's a good fight, it's a good fight. And that was a good fight. That was a great atmosphere. I thought the fans made an unbelievable atmosphere. I thought the guy that did the piano for Kel's ring walk was awesome. I think it was wicked. It was, and the fighters delivered. I think Kel, from his point of view, he showed that his reflexes were much better than what I thought they were going to be. But also Khan showed a lot of balls, a lot of heart, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the fight.
I know the general consensus from everyone is kind of, we believe that Amir Khan will hang the gloves up, but a lot of people I've spoken to this week have said to me, you know what, I want to see them both hang the gloves up, which I kind of weren't expecting. I thought a lot of people would be like, let's just see what Kel's got, because he looked good.
I think it's the perfect time for Kel to walk away, because it will never be as great as what that night was for him. Never be, because that fight, but he's earned. When you've earned millions. I mean, you got to think he's had the Golovkin fight, he's had this Crawford fight, he's had the Spence fight, and now he's had the Khan fight. He's earned a few quid. He doesn't have to box for money anymore. So that takes that away. But is there another fight out there that's going to mean as much to him as that? That's going to make him train and be as dedicated as what that fight did? No. That's his ride off into the sunset fight, and I'd like him to retire as well.
Just a quick word on Amir. I don't want him to kind of fall into that, and I feel like, I remember saying this about David Hay, I don't want him to fall into that category of people not remembering the earlier days of a fighter when... Do you know what I'm trying to get at? I don't know how to word it, because what Amir Khan has done for British boxing, he was kind of part of that rebuild of British boxing after his Olympic medal.
It's been amazing for British boxing, for a whole, different spectrum of people, as well, different spectrum of fans, and he's one of these fighters that never got the credit for his achievements, because people like to mock his bad nights, but he's always had the balls, he's always had the heart, he's always showed. I mean, what he showed on Saturday night wasn't a one-off. You know, you look at the fights he's had previously. He's always given it his all, and he's never been afraid to take the big tests where you're thinking, fucking hell, he's going to get chinned here. He's never been afraid to take those kind of fights. So I hope he gets the credit. He might be one of those that when he retires and people look back. I seem to remember when Calzaghe was boxing. I know he got credit and everything, but I don't think he was held in as much high esteem as what he has been since he's retired. And I think more so with Khan. I think because of what he's done both amateur and professional, then he deserves all the credit in the world.
100%. Just finally, Dave. Dillian signed at the last minute. We knew that was going to happen anyway. But I just want to know what you think Tyson will be thinking, because the complete media silence from Dillian is so unlike him.
Yeah, but I don't. What's Tyson going to be thinking? Who knows? That's the thing that's the beauty and one of the strengths of Tyson Fury is that nobody knows what's going on in his head. It depends on what he's feeling at that moment in time. I don't think he's particularly bothered. Well, all he's bothered by is if they turn up on fight night, and if the fight happens, then he'll be bothered. All he'll be bothered about is when he's preparing for it. That's it. But will he be asked whether Dillian speaks or not? No. All the fans will, because we're expecting a great build-up and all the to-ing and fro-ing and the back and forth. Everyone's going to be expecting that and hoping for that. But Dillian might just choose to not say anything and just lock himself away, focus on the fight, biggest fight of his career, his opportunity that he's waited so long for, and just focus on the fight. And that's what we have to put. Whatever these two guys decide to do, that's it. We have got no control and no say over it.
Fury's now said he's gone on a media blackout, so we've gone from what could potentially be one of the most exciting build-ups ever to just two fighters in complete silence, which I doubt it's going to last. But
well, I'd say probably it's going to be BT pay-per-view, isn't it? So at some point, I'm sure people will start ramping it up, especially from Fury's side, because it's all about pay-per-view buys, isn't it? When you're in fights like this, maximise your earning potential, and if that just means opening mouth from time to time, I'm sure he's going to do that.
Yeah, they're not strangers to it either. Just finally on that, I know we'll probably go into more depth, and you will with everyone until the April 23rd date, but most of the people I spoke to the last couple of days have said it's kind of Tyson's fight to lose rather than Dillian's to win. Are they doing a discredit to Dillian, or are we just seeing what people think of Tyson Fury?
I think it's people just giving credit to what Tyson Fury is about and how difficult he is to beat. It's not even about him. The problem is with Fury is even when he's not looked very good on certain occasions, which he has quite a few times, you don't know which Fury turns up. He can either look devastating, look fantastic, skillful, or he can look like he's not motivated and doesn't look great. But even when he doesn't turn up looking great, it's still so hard to beat. He is the hardest heavyweight out there to beat in terms of just to get a win against. But the thing is obviously Dillian's going to go in there to win and go in there to knock him out. He's not going to go in there to outbox him. He'll have to set up his power shots and box his way in them sort of terms in order to get his power shots off. But I don't think he's going in there for a 12-round decision. We all know Dillian likes to have a tear up. But you also know that Fury likes to have a tear up.
The recent Fury has been in a couple of wars. He had to pull himself off the canvas.
Yeah. So it's not like he's you can't get to him or you can't nail him. You can, and when he has been nailed, he has been hurt. So there is that there. But I think people are just saying that because they know that Fury he's got so many different ways of boxing. He could box southpaw, he can box orthodox, he can get on the move, or he can hold the centre of the ring and push you back. The big thing is obviously the size difference, and how does Dillian get past that, get past the reach and get past the range, But it'll be interesting to see what happens if Dillian does land on him, see how it reacts and how the fight unfolds.
All right, Dave, thank you very much for giving me some of your time. Obviously, best of luck to you and the team for Sunday night. And cheers, mate.
Nice one, mate. Cheers.